All right, settle in, because this story, well, it's a long one. People think the naughty and nice list is simple. Two tidy columns, a few names, and a little magic. If only. The truth is, the list is ancient, unpredictable, emotional, occasionally dramatic, and very much alive. Yes, alive! It hums when I walk by, it mutters. It has opinions. Frankly, I think it judges me more than it judges the kids. But let's start at the beginning. Not the polished story you've heard, but the real version. The version that includes the time I put myself on the naughty list, because apparently I have room for improvement. That was a fun year. You see, in the early centuries of gift-giving, I didn't have a list. I had memory, a sleigh that rattled like a bag of tin cans, and a heart full of hope. I truly believed I could keep track of every child by simply remembering them. And that lasted for exactly one Christmas. Picture this. A frozen night, quiet rooftops, snow falling gently, the air crisp and magical. And there I was, standing on a chimney, absolutely convinced I'd already delivered to this house. I climbed down anyway, just in case. And there, sitting in the living room, was a little boy holding the toy I had delivered 10 minutes earlier. He looked at me, looked at the toy, looked at me again, and said, "Santa, are you okay?" That was the moment I realized two things. One, I needed a system. Two, I should probably not climb into the same chimney twice. The next morning, tired and covered in soot, I took a long sip of cocoa and started writing names on parchment. No official lists yet, just little reminders. One name said, "Shares cookies, very kind." Another said, "Tried to lasso the family cat, keep an eye on him." But then something interesting happened. Kids weren't just good or bad, they were complicated. Like the little girl who always helped her mom but also tried to feed broccoli to the fireplace because she wanted it gone forever. Or the boy who stole cookies but gave half of them to his baby sister because she drools less when she's eating. How do you organize that? So the early list was messy. A few names here, a few doodles there, a couple of coffee stains. Mrs. Claus once mistook it for scrap paper and used the corner to test frosting colors. But the more I wrote, the more magic gathered around it. One night I fell asleep on top of the parchment. Long day, don't judge me. And when I woke up, the names had reorganized themselves. Children who'd done something kind drifted to one side, and those who had, let's say, opportunities for improvement drifted to the other. That was the birth of the naughty list. And no, I didn't choose that name. The elves did. They voted, they celebrated, they made a banner. The nice list shimmered softly, a gentle glow like warm candlelight. The naughty list sparked a little, like it wanted attention. Even now, centuries later, it still sparks. It knows who it has on it. And before you ask, yes, Santa Claus absolutely landed on the naughty list once. Why? Because apparently the list thinks borrowing Mrs. Claus's good scissors without asking is a moral crime. I put them back. Eventually. Now, let's talk about how the list works today. Every child, everywhere, has a place on it. Not permanently, of course. The list moves with them. It shifts when they share, when they fib, when they help, when they splash bathwater onto the ceiling, when they cuddle their little sibling, when they forget to feed the dog, when they apologize, when they try again. It's not a verdict. It's a reflection, a gentle nudge, a reminder that kindness is noticed, and so is mischief. Do I help naughty kids become nice? Absolutely. That's half the job. Christmas is about hope, after all, not punishment. There was a boy once named Oliver. Oliver didn't start the year naughty. He started it confused. His family moved, he felt lonely, and he discovered that throwing snowballs at windows made a very satisfying thunk. Not harmful, just loud, but loud enough to get him firmly on the naughty side. One night I visited him early, not on Christmas Eve, just checking in. He couldn't see me, but kids feel me sometimes, the way you feel someone standing behind you. Oliver had a tiny tree in his room, crooked and decorated with paper scraps, and he was talking to it like it was an old friend. He said quietly, "I hope Santa knows I'm trying." And right then, his name lifted, shifted, and drifted toward Nice. All he needed was time, a little kindness, room to grow. But yes, there are a few who work very hard to stay on the naughty side. Not forever, just temporarily. Like Maddie the Menace. She once put glitter in her dad's shoes. Not a sprinkle, an avalanche. He left sparkly footprints for 2 weeks. Even the family dog sparkled. But what put her on the list wasn't the glitter. It was the follow-up incident, known in her household as the peanut butter cat catastrophe. Thankfully, she learned. She apologized. She helped bathe the cat. which honestly should earn anyone immediate redemption. Her name drifted back to Nice by spring. Kids rarely stay naughty. Their hearts are too quick to reset, too ready to forgive themselves and others. Adults could learn from them. Now, some kids, very few, think the list is about perfection. It isn't. One boy cried once because he shouted at his sister and was convinced his Christmas was ruined. I wish you could have seen his face when his name stayed right where it was, glowing softly, unchanged, because he apologized, because he meant it. That glow, that shift, that spark of goodness. It's what Christmas runs on. Now I know what you're wondering. Do I ever intervene directly? Softly, sometimes. A nudge here, a whisper there, a bit of Christmas magic when a kid needs courage to say sorry or share the last cookie or admit they broke the thing that absolutely matters. I once nudged a girl named Harper, gently mind you, when she hid under her bed after accidentally writing on the wall with permanent marker. She thought she'd be in trouble forever. She wasn't. She marched out, confessed everything, and helped clean up. Her name practically sprinted back to the Nice side. And that's really the secret. The list doesn't measure mistakes. It measures hearts. It measures effort. It measures the way we grow over time, even mine, even after the scissor incident. All right, take a breath with me, because the next part of this story gets deeper and sweeter and a little funnier too. We still haven't talked about the trickiest kids, the kindest kids, or the one time the naughty list tried to unionize. Yes, that happened. Now, where was I? Yes, the naughty list trying to unionize. Don't laugh. It was a real situation, and I nearly lost my cocoa over it. You see, one year the list noticed that its naughty column was getting longer, not because kids were worse, but because that was the year slime became popular, and children everywhere were sticking it to walls, ceilings, pets, siblings, unsuspecting grandparents. The list grew tired, exhausted, frazzled. So one morning, I walked into my office, and there it was, curled up in a dramatic loop with a note taped to itself reading, "The naughty list is on strike. Please address our concerns." I blinked. I sipped cocoa. I blinked again. The nice list just sat there, glowing politely, pretending it had no part in this, which was a lie. Lists gossip. You didn't hear that from me. Anyway, the naughty column whined. Yes, whined. That it had grown too large, too heavy, too chaotic, too full of slime-related offenses. It demanded shorter working hours and at least 1 week per year where children are encouraged to only make good choices. I told it, gently, that this was not realistic. Kids are magical, unpredictable creatures who can go from angelic helper to tiny tornado in under 3 minutes. The list sighed, grumbled, sparked once or twice, and went back to work. Not my strangest morning. Not even in the top 10. Now, before you begin to think this list is all doom and chaos, let me tell you about the kids who make the list light up like the brightest star you've ever seen. The nice list favorites. The ones who remind me why I do all of this in the first place. There was a little girl named Aria, a quiet one, thoughtful. She didn't have much. Her family had moved into a tiny home, and many of her toys were hand-me-downs, cracked or chipped. One winter night, she found a neighbor girl crying because she'd lost her favorite doll. Without hesitation, Aria gave her own doll away, her only one. She didn't even mention it to her parents. Just hugged the crying girl and walked back home empty-handed, humming softly to herself. When her name slid across the list and landed on the Nice side, the parchment actually glowed. Warm, golden, gentle. I felt it from across the workshop. Moments like that, they warm even my old heart. Then, on the other end of the spectrum, we have the repeat offenders. Now, don't misunderstand. These kids aren't bad. They're spirited, creative, frequently sticky, but spirited. There was a boy named Dexter who had a habit of drawing on walls, not scribbling, full murals, dinosaurs battling robots, battling spaghetti monsters. Talented? Yes. Destructive? Also yes. Every time his parents painted the wall, Dexter started a new masterpiece. The list kept him hovering right between naughty and nice. Until one day he drew a get-well card on the wall for his sick grandmother. He drew her smiling, wrapped in a blanket, sipping soup, and then wrote in big messy letters, "Feel good soon, Grandma. Love, Dex." His mother cried when she saw it. His grandmother laughed. His name drifted toward Nice like a leaf in warm wind. See, effort matters. Heart matters. Even when the crayons go places they shouldn't. Then there was Sophia, a sweet girl with a mischievous streak. She once hid under the table for 3 hours because she stole a cookie. Nobody was mad. She just panicked and stayed down there until her legs went numb. But the list didn't shift her to naughty for stealing the cookie. No, it nudged her toward naughty when she blamed the missing cookie on an invisible squirrel wearing a tiny hat. Creativity, 10-10, honesty, needs work. She eventually confessed, loudly, and the list gently moved her back, glowing like a lantern. Now, let me answer a question many children ask me in letters, and something adults secretly wonder too. Are there kids who stay naughty, always? No, absolutely not. Children are not stuck. They are not frozen. They are growing, learning, stumbling, trying again. Even the ones who stay on the naughty side longer. Even they move eventually. All they need is a moment, a shift, one spark of kindness that changes everything. Take Leo, for example. Leo was, how can I put this nicely, a whirlwind with shoes. If something fell over, he was probably involved. If someone was yelling stop in a grocery store, Leo was likely the reason. The list watched him with a sort of resigned patience. But one day, he saw a little boy on the playground sitting alone, crying quietly. Leo didn't tease him, didn't ignore him. He sat beside him, nudged his shoulder and said, "Want to see a cool trick?" Then he made a silly face until the boy giggled. Leo's name floated from naughty to Nice so fast the parchment fluttered. Kids surprise me every day. They surprise the list, too. Even I surprised the list once. Remember how I told you I spent a year on the naughty side? Well, the truth is, it wasn't just the scissors incident. It was a combination of things. One night, this was long ago, but still fresh in my mind, I got frustrated. Elves were arguing. Reindeer were restless. A storm was coming. And I snapped. I muttered something unkind under my breath about needing a vacation in a place where nobody jingles. The list heard me. The list judged me. The list placed my name firmly, and I mean firmly, on the naughty side for the entire week. Mrs. Claus laughed so hard she had to sit down. Did I get off the list? Yes. How? By apologizing. By trying harder the next day. By bringing cocoa to the elves at midnight because I knew they'd had a long day too. Even Santa has to grow. Even Santa has to earn his place. Now, let me tell you something I rarely share. Something not many people know. The list doesn't punish. It guides. If a child lands on the naughty side, it doesn't mean they're bad. It means they're learning. It means life is complicated. It means their heart is still working things out. Sometimes a name on the naughty side hums sadly, and when it does, I watch closely. I look for the moment, the turn, the spark. Because children are full of sparks, sparks of kindness, sparks of mischief, sparks of love, and every spark counts. The list is not about perfection. It never has been. It's about direction and hope, and believing that no matter how many mistakes a child makes, they can always move toward the light again. There's more I could say. Stories of redemption, stories of mischief, stories of triumph, like the girl who tried to mail herself to the North Pole because she wanted to help the elves, or the boy who built a trap for me that I definitely walked into because I didn't want him to be disappointed, or the twins who switched places for an entire year, keeping the list thoroughly confused. But we'll save those for another night. You've had enough magic for now. So here's what I want you to remember. The list is alive, yes. It watches, it listens. But more than anything, it forgives, it hopes, it believes in every child, even the spicy ones. And as for me, I'm always watching too. But not to judge, to cheer you on, to nudge you forward, to celebrate every moment your heart chooses kindness. Even the tiny ones. All right, that's enough storytelling from an old man in a red suit. My cocoa's getting cold, the elves are probably arguing about ribbon again, and I should go break it up before someone tapes their hat to the table. Remember this. You can always move from naughty to nice. Always. All it takes is one spark. Ho, 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 and good night.